Good evening. I'd like to welcome you to tonight's council meeting. Would you please join us in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Call the meeting to order and open roll call.
Goodell.
Here.
Slater.
Here.
Scholl.
Here.
Rusher.
Here.
Davis.
Here. We need a motion to approve the agenda as printed.
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We need a motion to approve the minutes of the April 18th, 2014 regular council meeting.
Move approved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We need a motion to approve the treasurer's monthly investment report and the August treasurer's report. Questions?
Move to approve. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And we need a motion to approve the claims for August. If we have any questions.
Move to approve. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Under communications, public in attendance this evening. Gene, do you want to say anything, Gene, or not yet?
I'm waiting to see what you say.
Okay. Well, let's just, means you're here and stuff, let's just talk about that now. I was approached by some people this weekend, talked to Gene, he's called me, met him, stuff. We're watering the old football field right now, where they planted the grass. The people that live around 7th Avenue North, that area down there when we're watering, have just about zero water pressure. So they can't literally use any of the facilities, shower, wash their clothes, do anything stuff anyway. So Gene called me, first I knew about it and stuff, and then I had another lady from the area came up to the shop and stuff to talk about it. And they're concerned about that, and rightfully so. We've taken away, you know, the benefit that they had with water pressure and stuff anyway, so. Aaron had told him that we would only water at night and stuff and try and work around the situation. Like Gene says, you know, if we wanted to sell the house, that's not necessarily the best solution to tell people you can only do certain things at certain times and the rest of the time you don't have any water pressure anyway, so. So I guess that's why we're talking about it now, and just, you know, so the council knows what's going on at least anyway, that there is a problem down in that area. You know, apparently we're drawing so much water for the sprinkler system down there that it doesn't leave anything for anybody else anyway. So.
You know, right now the watering is very heavy with the grass getting established. I'm trying to get a surface put in for the kids to get the plants started on it, and then the night watering. I don't know if it's going to nearly have the same impact in the next. You know, once we get the other tower up. And with reduced demand during the night, basically little to no demand at night, the gallons per minute would probably be much higher at that point. It's something we'd have to test once the second tower is in place.
So the south tower's still down?
South tower is still down. Until that's up, I know, Dan, you've had some problems, you've had some problems. It is affecting the whole system, so. I don't know how much of an effect that's having, whether it's, you know, whether that's creating an issue because you don't have water supply really coming from both sides, or.
When are we watering now, or when were we watering?
We were watering at the beginning, somewhere between 2 to 4 times a day. You know, some at night, some during the day. Right now, I believe it's only at night, if at all, with the amount of rain we've had recently, so.
Is it on a timer, or?
Yes. But they've been kicking it on and off, trying to run it as little as possible.
Is it multiple zones, so they could just run like one zone at a time, or?
It is zoned and it runs one zone at a time.
Okay.
It's just the supply in that area is so meager. I mean, as you've seen from the water maps, it's the same issue we had on, is that 5th Avenue?
When we had the water leak?
5th or 4th Avenue, we had the water leak and it dropped pressure so bad in the area next to Frank Raffy's place.
Right.
So, you know, that.
I'm sorry, I just cannot hear him.
Oh, I'm sorry. So like I said, the water, the amount of watering will decrease as the field is established. And with the 2 water towers, it should be better pressure, better supply. You know, the watering was 4 times, it should be down to 1 time at night. The supply, like I said, should be much better, and there's very little usage at night. So once the second tower's in place, we can test to see where that's at, if it's actually pulling nearly as much as it was before.
How long before the second tower comes online?
Unfortunately, that's automatic systems. So everything's ready for automatic systems to come in and do their work at this point. And we're pushing already for them to come in and finish out the getting the 2 towers to communicate. But I don't want to promise that they're going to be here next week, because they're the whole reason that this project actually got as far behind as it did was because of that subcontractor specifically. So.
Was this part of the original agreement, is what we're behind on now, between the 2 towers and stuff?
Yes.
And this was in the original scope of things?
Mhm.
So this is
It's still part of the water plant.
so there's a handicap to us right now anyway, as far as for,
Yes.
This wasn't actually the
Damages.
contractor, was it? It was the fact that they didn't have the controls, correct? I mean, it's not something that they actually did wrong. Weren't they
It-
having trouble getting the controls?
It was twofold. They were slow getting some of the equipment that they needed. And then even after it was in, their integration and the amount of people they had on site for the water plant renovation was one. And when we pressured them, them being automatic systems, when we pressured them, they would bump it to 2 people. But as Clint's comment has been, depending on who that second person is, you might be better off with just 1 person if it's the lead person. So we're very close, but we're not there yet. And they had to wait for the new system, or the new I guess
Standby.
guts of and valves to be installed before they could integrate the 2 towers.
Well, I think we should try to do what we can do to accommodate the neighbors down there, and if we can go to night watering to help now until the
Yeah.
other tower's up, and.
Yeah.
Whatever needs to be done. Everybody needs to have water,
And
so.
we're getting a lot of rain,
Yeah.
so I would think we could cut back on water, and I know we don't wanna lose the grass seed we put in there, but,
Yeah, I mean, that's Wempen's comment, or Derek Wempen's comment was, he's like, you've got close to $4,500 worth of seed sitting on the ground. And his concern was if there was a crust that came over that soil, that you would start to lose some of that seed.
yeah.
And so, I told him, I said, my conversation was, we need to do as much to do as little watering as possible and if we are water at night, saturate it, and then
Mhm.
during the day,
Let it go.
Let it go. And so far, I mean, it's been fine. I mean, we've had very rainy days and not hot days, and the grass is starting to get fairly established in the old football field. So, I think we're going to turn the corner. And the thing is, if it's still continuing to drop pressure, I mean, we can look at some other avenues. I don't think that there was a really good, accurate model of the amount of gallons per minute that area supplied, because of the lack of hydrants and lack of recent testing in that area. So unfortunately, I think we were flying a little bit blind once we tapped on there with the booster pump, and the gallons per minute were just not nearly sufficient to keep the pressure in that block as high as it needed to be.
Yeah.
So, if it does continue to pull down, it might be a situation where, we can bring in a water source from somewhere else to supply the system.
The field,
Yeah.
yeah.
once you get some grass in, are we done watering then?
The only time we water would be is if it's, so you don't lose the field. If it's, really dry year at night, you run it to saturate it, keep it from losing the field like we did previous, 3-4 years ago. So, I think that would go a long way to keeping that surface playable, and just with the amount of pressure that it, from the rec department and everything else that was played on whole football field.
What would you like to see from us? I guess that's, you know, what is it you're looking for right now? Is this, you know, trying to water only at night, is that a good enough solution right now for you till we can get something going, or do we need to look at something else, or what?
Well, I need some type of assurance that this will not be an ongoing situation year after year. That's what I'm really looking for, is I want to know when will it be resolved. I know that you gentlemen on the council, if this were your home, I'm sure you'd be just as upset as I am. And it's just not a good situation.
It sounds like, Gene, I don't know whether you heard all that, but it sounds like,
No, I couldn't hear Mr. Burnett at all.
okay. It sounds like when we get the second tower going, the south tower's down. You know, we've been struggling with one tower. And when we
he
get
has explained that to me.
yeah, when we get the second tower going, and then if they just water at night, I guess it's kind of a wait and see what happens when everything's working the way it's supposed to be. And yes, I understand your concerns. And I think, you know, we'll try to take care of you down there the best we can.
Well, it's not just me, there are several
Sure.
homes on the street, and we're all experiencing the same frustrations.
Yeah, yeah.
So how late are we watering now, like at midnight, or
Yeah, I believe it starts at midnight.
till 4 or 5 or whatever, or something?
I think it runs an hour and a half.
Okay.
To go through all the zones.
Okay. I guess I can't promise it won't happen again, Gene, but we'll do everything we can to make sure, try not to do it anyway, so. You know,
And is there,
if we need to make a change, then we'll make the change, so.
I would appreciate it, Walter, if you would let me know if and when the council decides that there is a remedy for this, a way of providing water both to the field and to the residents.
I'll say, as soon as we get, hopefully in a couple, well, hopefully soon anyway, we'll have the other tower online, but then we can do some testing, and then I can give you a better answer anyway, so. But no, I will make sure that I talk to Eugene on that. Okay. Are we good enough then, Gene, on that, or, for now anyway, I realize it's not the right solution, but it's, we'll do what we can anyway, we'll say that and stuff, so, promise you that anyway. All right, Jim, anything you wanna talk about for public input?
There's no spot for the fire department currently on the, okay. Oh,
Okay.
Oh, maybe this is, okay. Alrighty, anything else for public input this evening? If not, we'll move on to new business. We need a motion to approve setting Friday, October 31st, 2014, from 5:30 to 7:30 to trick or treat night in the city of Humboldt.
This,
Month and a
This
half
is-
ahead for a change.
yeah, exactly, we're getting right on top of it. This is the same time as previous years, with the 5:30 start to allow for parents to get home, from work and get their kids ready for trick or treat. We used to do it at 5, but there were some complaints about that, so.
Move to approve. Second.
We have a first and a second, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Next, discussion and possible action on request from the Humboldt County Emergency Management Coordinator to rent the former fire station for storage of the emergency equipment. Pat, you get that, or who gets that anyway?
That's me.
Okay.
They moved me from Dakota City, where I was located for many years, I guess. Doug, my predecessor, was there. And they want to move me to Rutland. Well, I do not believe I can respond very quickly, especially in the wintertime, if we got to move snow before we can open the doors. Where up in Dakota City, conservation used to keep it cleaned out. So it was really a nice deal. And then when, of course, we got the new fire station, I was interested, but there was other people interested. And so now I heard the Red Cross came down and they were gonna possibly go in there. And when I heard that, I said, well, why doesn't the emergency manager go in there with my response equipment? I mean, I support the city of Humboldt and the county, but also the city, and I think it would be a good place for me. I don't know how you guys feel, that's why I came to ask.
No, Aaron's had some thoughts on that, so maybe Aaron, you can give us
Yeah.
that.
No, the Red Cross was looking for a place. They were relocating from their current location. The rent had gone up pretty significantly, and I know, actually, it was you, Dave. So we were looking for a place to potentially house those units, and I said, well, the old fire station's available, that might be a good place to put it, there is some empty space there. Said obviously there would have to be some contribution to help cover the costs for the space. But they ended up finding a different location to store that equipment. Then Pat reached out to me and mentioned he was interested in the space, and again, same thing, just said, maybe something to help defray the cost for keeping that space as a garage instead of something else. So right now it's just sitting empty, so it's some source of revenue, and obviously there's a benefit to emergency management being in there. So but that comes for you guys on what you think is best for the space.
Now, would it be if Pat did rent from the city, then if something else did come along, then would have to find another place then, or?
I wouldn't expect any obviously within a reasonable time frame, but I wouldn't expect a long-term agreement or anything like that.
I want a place of my own. It's just finances, I gotta keep working on grants, and if I get another grant, I'll get a place to store my equipment, it's easy. But I think this would work, right away and take care of me. And keep my stuff, in the county world, they sometimes say, your county, we're county, well, we could take your stuff and use it. I kinda like to be able to lock all my stuff up, know where it's at every time. If they wanna use it, give me a call, I'm more than happy to loan my stuff out, but.
How much stuff are we looking at, Pat? How much room would it take?
Well,
for a fire station?
I was hoping for the middle and south bay. I've got the emergency trailer and the old search and rescue, that's a 50-foot unit together. So that pretty much fills the center bay, I think. And then I've got this new decontamination trailer that I'm getting, along with my Ford Expedition, that could be, and also I'm working on I've got a 8 kW generator, but it's 3-phase, and I'm working on getting it either converted to two-phase, single phase. Yeah, so that I could possibly use it to back up any electrical outages within the county, and especially the South Care Center, because when I work down there, we don't have anything to back that up. So the people on oxygen down